Hello. I was letting everybody know that over on Josh's channel because he is still at work. So I was just typing to everybody. So as soon as Al gets over here, or if he sees it, then I'll pop him up. It it is definitely morning. Hello, Tiffany. Uh, If you Tiffany, can you drop the link to this stream over on Josh's stream? That way, uh, they can get over here. Good morning, Lisa. I don't know about sunshine. It is definitely sunshine, but it's windy as fire out here. I don't know how windy fire really is, but it's something that my grandpa always just say. So if Al is in here, I'm going to drop the link for Al. Maybe if I can figure out how to work this thing. Copy. Paste. Yeah, I've been sitting over there waiting on Josh to drop a link for me, and then he finally texted me. Oh, it's because I was over on Josh's channel typing, trying to let everybody know that I was over here because Josh is still at work. I need to make Josh a administrator on my StreamYard, and probably the same way. So whenever we create one, I can always go in there and start it, even if he's not there on his channel. Did I post that? Yeah, I did. It says there's still 5 people over there waiting. Hello, Sydney Brown. Everybody's just saying good morning to everybody. So, Al, whenever you get here, I did put the link in the the deal. So, or Josh, if you can. Oh, there's Al. I see him now. It wasn't showing until just a second ago.
I've been waiting in the basement, man. Where you at?
I don't know, man. It wasn't showing you. You doing all right today?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you? Just give me 1 second here. I'm
Okay.
trying to open up the chat room so I can keep an eye on the chat as well.
Hello, Peterson Farm from Nashville. Phil. Um. Hi, humans. Nicole.
Sure, you knows Nicole is here.
Yeah.
He's not gonna let things slip by.
Well, it always cracks me up when she says "Hello, humans" or "Hi,
I've
humans."
I've started coming in, and when she says that, I'll usually turn around and say, hello, fellow Earthlings.
Yeah.
Doris, please don't push my computer down. There we go. All set. I'm good to go.
Okay.
I have it
So,
all set up for one room.
okay.
Over.
So Al, there may be some people or rewatching it from my channel because it seems like a lot of people rewatch. I get that a lot. Do you get a lot of people rewatch your lives
I
instead
get
of?
a few, yeah. I get quite a few going in and rewatching and leaving comments on the after show. We'll say like on the
Yeah.
rewatch.
So
Yep.
do you want to tell us a little bit about your channel? What your main focus is? What you're doing over there at your channel?
Yeah. Well, it's called My Backstep because primarily when I started out, I was doing a lot of little bushcraft videos and stuff like that out on my step. And one of the big primary focuses on what I try to do on my channel is a lot of bushcrafty stuff, whether it's just out cooking on the fire or out making little bushcraft camps in the woods and stuff like that. I have recently gotten into some of the homesteading issues, not issues, but aspects of different things such as preserving the foods. I've started a little container gardening, just cooking in general with some different stuff and things like that, like getting involved in some of the collaborations that some of the homesteaders and that got going on. It's been a lot of fun. It feels like my channel went from my original startup was just gonna be bushcraft.
Mm-hmm.
So I would have been in this one little thing, but since I've gotten to know a lot more people in farming and homesteading and everything like that, it seems like I've just grown into a bigger
Yeah.
bowl.
So you talked about collaborations. You have something kind of going on. You talked about the other day. You want to tell everybody about it so maybe they can get a chance to do it too.
Sure. I recently started a little thing because like I said, where I am mostly trying to do bushcraft. I started a little alliance called Camp Challenge Alliance. And what we're doing is we're going to take one day a month or one overnight a month or something like that and go on out and do a little project, whether it be just like our first one that we just did is a 5-item challenge where we took 5 specific items and we spent a night out in an overnight in the woods with those 5 items. Now, we're not doing it and it's not set up so it's going to be uncomfortable where we says, oh, a 5-item challenge, that's the only 5 items you get. No, there's a list of things you can take regardless. Because it's more about let's all get together and have some fun.
Yeah.
And let's get out and do something. And it's not just open to anyone in bushcraft, it's open to everyone. Like you can, if you wanted to do the 5-item challenge in your backyard, go for it. Get out,
Right.
have a bit of fun, do something a little different. You wanted to do the 5-item challenge in your living room, go for it. Dear, not long ago, I did a video where I showed it and we were in the tent and we were playing a game of cards and everybody in the beginning of the video was thinking, oh, we got out and spent the night in the woods. But when I opened it up, we were in the living room.
Yeah.
But it's just about having a bit of fun and doing something a little bit different. And I know this aspect of what we have going on here with StreamYard and the live streams and the live chats is a fantastic way for everybody to get together. But I started doing YouTube to get out and do some stuff in the woods and have a bit of fun that way. So I'm trying to get some people back into that.
Yeah. Well, and I think the live chats and the streaming and everything. I think at times, I think it kind of holds you back from being able to do what you're actually wanting to do if you
Yep,
let it.
yep, exactly. And that's one of the reasons why I uh, I decided to try and start up this little Camp Challenge Alliance. Now, as of right now, there are going to be 4 that I know of, maybe 5 videos dropped for anywhere between the 24th to the 29th of this month with the hashtag on them, Camp Challenge Alliance. And then we're all going to get together afterwards after we have a chance to watch them. And anyone that took part will be able to come in and say, hey, well, this is what I was doing. This is what we like. This is, just have a little chat about them.
Yeah.
So I'm not cutting out the live portion of it. It's just we'll go and do our videos and have a live portion afterwards to talk
Right.
about. And like I said, it's more about having the fun and getting out to do something and get stink house off you,
Yeah.
so to speak, as the phrase goes around here. I don't know if you ever heard that one. Lots of people, it's probably everywhere. You're in the house all the time. People say, get outside and get the stink house off.
Well, it's along that lines, but yeah, I've heard something like that.
Something
Something like
along those lines.
yeah. So Al, I kind of have a different kind of question since you're bigger into the bushcraft stuff. So what would you recommend everybody to carry like in their vehicle for if something happens, like you break down instead of being on something that was going to make you comfortable if you break down and you have a long way to walk or something and you'd rather wait or however you would do that.
Okay, if I would suggest for everybody to make an emergency prepared kit in your car. In it, the major items will be water, just because you get thirsty. So water doesn't go bad. It can last there forever. Put some bottled water in it. If you're planning on staying in your car, have matches. I prefer matches over a lighter because if a lighter gets cold, it has a hard time lighting. Matches will light no matter what, unless they get wet. So if you got a waterproof container to put this stuff in, it's even better. But matches, water, candles is something a lot of people don't think of now because they're thinking, oh, well, I have a flashlight. Okay, but in a car, you're in a small confined place. A candle will actually provide heat in the car as well as light.
Yeah.
So I'd suggest you can get usually as like a pack of 5 emergency candles. Each candle will burn for about 8 hours. So a pack of those, and they're only like a couple of dollars. And a blanket, preferably wool, because wool will hold the heat even if it does get wet. That would be probably the 4 major things I would say. On top of that, you could add a food item, something that's probably not going to go bad for a very long time and that you don't need to have heat or anything to cook it with. So like even a Pop-Tart. Pop-Tarts will last for a long time.
Yeah.
Or something along those lines, something that you can just open and eat.
Well, they have those Mountain House freeze dried food deals now at like
Yeah.
all your big box stores. Those are a good thing to keep in there. I have like a little Tupperware thing. Because my wife and I, so a lot of people don't know, but my wife and I we were big time hikers and stuff before we had kids, and so we would go all over the place. So I have everybody calls them like what are the go bags or something like that, but I
Yeah.
don't like that term because mine's just full of stuff
I'll
that
go
like
bag.
yeah, mine's just full of stuff like I go like if we go camping, I take that backpack because it has everything in there that I need to go camping or I need to go, like if I had that backpack, I would be good, that's just and it's not a huge backpack. And one thing, like on the bushcrafters, I've seen a lot of the guys, um, they do the fire starters, instead of matches, they'll get but they don't know how to use them. Have you watched the Bear Grylls episode of a guy trying to use one of those with a rock and he breaks it in half?
Yeah.
It's like that's
That
not how
was
that works.
that actually I've seen that happen to a couple of people on different shows. I've seen it happened on the Bear Grylls one. It also happened on one of Les Stroud's.
Yeah, Les Strauss too.
Um,
Yeah.
I, and the one on Les Stroud's, here's the stupid thing. It was actually attached to an Axis fire starter, so he had the axe there to scrape it, and he went and got a rock and tried and broke it down to like this big.
Yeah. But
Really.
he ended up getting a
Um,
fire started off of it after Les showed him how to use it.
Yeah, yeah. Even with the small piece, you could still get a fire going. But the thing is, and like you used to do hiking and camping and backpacking and everything. The thing with this kind of thing is, it's great if you want to buy it and put it away,
Yeah.
but it's no good if you don't practice how to use it.
And that's where I was going with it. Is like
Yeah.
you have to practice. You have to know how to use it. And I
Well,
think
go ahead.
I think that's a big misconception. You can have all of the best tools in the world, but if you don't know how to use the tools, what good are they?
Yeah.
I mean, it's the same thing like what I do for. I used to be a mechanic, a heavy equipment mechanic, and an auto mechanic. And I started out with like Craftsman tools and Cobalt tools, and as I would break stuff, I would buy Snap-on ones, and now that's all I have is Snap-on tools.
Yep.
But I tell all these young kids that come in as the mechanical side at work because they see all my tools and they're like, "Well, how much did that cost?" It's like, "Well, that's irrelevant. You just need to go down to Lowe's or Harbor Freight and buy the tools to get the job done for now until you're making the money, and then when you just replace the one, not buy
Yeah.
all of the
Don't go
tools."
out and try to buy an entire set. If you like, and the same thing follows through with camping and stuff. You can go out and spend easy $1,000 on a sleeping bag.
Oh yeah.
Easy. If you want a good sleeping bag and it goes down to like this big, and when you
Mhm.
take it out, it's good for -40, you're going to spend upwards of $1,000. So if you want to go and get the best of the best, you got to have deep pockets to do it. So, like you said, get one thing at a time.
Yeah. So there's a
And
lot of people
eventually,
coming in. Hang on a second. Hang on just a second. There's a lot of people coming in. Annie's Kitchen. I seen AR Guns come in, and Rebecca came in. I just want to say hello real quick. Go ahead now. Go ahead, Al.
yep. That's okay. If you want to stop and go through the list, I know how it all. I've been at this for a
Okay.
while. Don't worry about that. Cut me off. I gets a little long-winded sometimes, and I even forgets to look at the chat.
Our
but
abundant life. Hello. Yeah.
yeah, but my knife sets. My first knife set that I bought was $30 for the two knives.
Yeah.
My first tent I spent $25 on. When I originally started into this, I picked up, I think, out of $500, I got enough stuff to do me. Like I had my tent, my sleeping bag, my air mattress, my tarps, my hammock. I got everything for like $500.
Yeah.
Budget stuff. But you know what? It still works just as good.
Oh
You look
yeah.
after it, you take care of it, and it lasts you. So now, as time goes on, I'm slowly okay. Well, for Christmas, my wife bought me a really good tarp for my hammock. Little things like that, Christmas, birthdays, stuff like that. That's where you go out and you say, okay, well, I've been using this. Let's see if I can get something a bit better.
Yeah. Well, and I
And
think
just,
that's one of the things. One of the things that people don't consider is a good knife. Like though I So whenever my wife and I used to go hiking a lot, we went up. There's the Black Mesas. We were hiking in the Black Mesa, and this guy he put up this big old nice tent, and I don't know how they ended up doing it, but they had this meal that they were sitting over there cooking, and he was trying to open this can with this. I don't know what kind of knife it was, but it was hilarious. And I'm like, he comes over and asks me if I have a can opener. I'm like, no, I don't have a can opener. Which I always used to carry one, one of the military, the P,
Yeah, the little time.
yeah,
I can't remember what they're called, but I know what you're talking about. I'll show you the one I always has.
uh, so I just take my knife out of my, yeah, it's like a, yeah, P38. Yeah, that's what it is, Eddie. I
This
have a
is
couple,
the one that I has.
yeah.
Oh.
So I just took my knife and I just hit it down and I started doing it. And then he shows me his knife and it's in two pieces and it's like one of those cheap the $3 knives you find in one of the little deals. It's like I was like, dude, whenever you get home, I said you need to go buy you a $30 or $40 good knife. I said, whatever you do, just buy a good. Well, what one do you have? I said, well, you're not going to buy one for $30 like this, but just one along the lines, like go and buy a good Gerber or something that's a better knife than this drop and forget knife that you have here.
Well, I can tell you now, and like people have often said to me, why don't you do a little review on them or do like a little infomercial on them or something? Because these are the ones I bought, Mossy Oak,
Yeah,
and there's nothing special about it, but it's thick, it's heavy, it's
yeah,
stainless steel, and
yeah,
I'm after putting it through a lot and it hasn't bent or broke. I've had to sharpen it a couple of times. That's about it. So I mean, like one of the biggest things, like you're saying, he had this big, huge setup of a tent and a cook spot and everything like that. Didn't stop to take into account, oh, a good knife,
yeah, and he couldn't even open his food.
right?
Yeah,
So you can have all the bells and whistles you want, but if you don't have the right bells and whistles, whether it's expensive or not,
yeah,
you're going to find yourself in a situation where I got a can of stuff and I can't get into it now. I'm hungry.
yeah.
um, but that's hilarious. And I
Uh,
mean, like, some of the, but I mean, like some of the camp knives you look at are hundreds of dollars, hundreds of dollars.
Yeah, I mean, like I have some cold steel knives. Like my stepdad, he was a big knife. He made custom knives. So I have a very good appreciation for knives. I actually just bought. I had a. It's a case sod buster. I had one with wooden handles on it from the time I was a little kid till I grew up, or till recently. I let someone use it and they used it as a pry bar and broke it. So I just bought a new one yesterday. Um, we're not going to say Landon's name or anything, but I I think you don't have to go spend hundreds and hundreds of dollars on a good knife. You can buy them at Walmart and you know but all your box stores. Yeah,
The little my knife is not in the sheets right now. It's in the other room. But the little Mora knives, you can get them for like $30 Canadian.
yeah,
So you can probably get it for like $20 US. And you know what? They're not super thick. And I don't know about opening cans with them. I would imagine you'd be able to do it, but I've had this knife for over a year now and put it through a lot of punishment, and it's still just as good as when I got it. So I mean, like, yeah, you don't need to spend a big, big lot, but spend wisely
yeah.
is what I would.
I think that's the important thing.
Yeah, like check out things before you go and buy them. Don't just say, "Oh, there's a nice looking." It's a nice looking knife. I got lots of nice looking knives, but I wouldn't try to do anything with them because I know they're just going to break or bend or something. Because
Yeah.
when you go for nice looking, you're paying for the look. You're not paying for the knife.
Well, it's like you go to like I don't know if you guys have them up in Canada, but we have like our fairs around here, and you have these guys that do these little pop up booths, knives, and they're like the cheapest. I mean, you can grab the blade out of the box of a brand new one, and you can wiggle the blade left to right. It's like holy cow, and they're selling
Yeah.
them for 40 and $50 because they have a flag on them. It's like really, come on, guys.
Well, I bought a
Um,
couple of good. I got a couple of good pocket knives for. I got I got I got a good couple of pocket knives at Canadian Tire for $10 each,
yeah.
and the blades are as solid as I don't know what, and they're not moving. They don't move. They're sharp right out of the packaging. I haven't had no issues with them. So I mean, like it's just a matter of looking
Well,
around, and we.
that's like this. Like I bought it at a feed. We have a little feed store here in Stillwater. I think I paid $25 for it. It's just a case sodbuster, just a single blade, just no serrated. I'm not a big fan of serrated blades.
No, no, no. I don't
Um,
like them either. I think a serrated blade has a use in a kitchen, not in bushcraft.
well, and a lot of times, like my brother-in-law, that's the only kind of knife he'll buy, and as soon as it's dull, he'll bring it over to me and give it to me because he'll just go buy a new one. And I mean, I have the stuff to sharpen serrated edges, where you can buy it. It's not super expensive to get the different type of files for serrated edges, but he just won't sharpen it. He'll just use it until it's completely dull and then throw it away. It's like,
Yeah,
what? What?
that can get tedious though.
Yeah, it can. And I'm not a huge fan of them. I have a big knife grinder because my dad was a knife maker. My stepdad was. So I have a big knife grinder and I can just take the serrated edges right off. I don't care. Because the serrated edges, I'm just not a big, I'm just never have been a big fan of them. So, yeah, so your little collaboration that you have has actually kind of inspired me to do a more camping and hiking again, where I
Nice,
haven't. I actually just talked to my wife about it last night, and she's like, "Yeah, we really should start doing that again." And
nice.
so, I,
But
hopefully,
that was the hope with it too, is to get some people into doing it, and even if you want to do like, and I'm one thing I've said to some people, if say you and your wife go and you want to get in on this collaboration of the 5 item challenge, take your 5 items that you're going to use, take everything else you're going to need, but showcase those 5 items and show what you would do with them, how you would set them up, and this, that, and everything else, and make the little video and hashtag it into it. You
you know,
don't have to go.
I would feel like I was cheating though if I took extra stuff. I mean, like I'm good if if I have 5 items that I pick, I feel like I'd be good, you
Yeah.
know?
Well, I mean, like if you think about it, 5 items. I took my tarp, I took my fire starter, I took my pot because some of the food I took I wanted to heat. I took my sleeping bag, and I took my axe. That was my 5 items.
Yeah.
Now, food, water, stuff like that, we included into it, so you didn't have to go, oh, I'm going to be starving for the day or whatever, nothing like that. So I mean, like with those 5 items, say you took a tent for you and your wife, and sleeping bags. 2 sleeping bags still count them as one because it's 2 that's fine. Your axe, your whatever. Um, you could still be comfortable out there with those 5 items with the 2 people. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, I don't want anybody to go out and be in a situation where they're going to be uncomfortable.
Right. Well, and I think and like you said, because both people get to take 5 if 2 go, right?
No, what I said was if 2 people, one of the things I had said was if 2 people go take the same 5 items.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's not like you get to go out with 10 items because there's 2 of you.
Yeah.
Right?
No, no, no.
It's the same 5 items. So if you take an axe, she takes an axe. If you take
Yeah.
a ferro rod, she takes, Um, that's the way I said it. But in saying that, like I've had some people say to me, "Well, I want to take my kid." Well, I don't want any kids out there being uncomfortable in the woods because that's going to deter them from wanting to go out and do it again. So
Yeah.
take whatever you need for them,
Yeah.
whether that's a sleeping pad, a mattress, whatever you want to take it for them so that they are comfortable out there. Um, if you want to do it yourself, so that like when I did it, I never had my sleeping pad, and I wish I did because I was sleeping on lumpy ground. But I wish I had my sleeping pad to redo it, or if I had went again to this same area, I would take my hammock so I was off the ground.
Yeah.
But I
Have you
wanted
seen?
to go and do some tarp camping, so that's what I did.
Yeah. Have you seen those tent hammocks that they have the little um oh, I can't remember. It's like little fiberglass rods that run across, so you get
Hmm.
inside of it, and it's like a tent, and
Yep.
you can actually change the top of it and turn it into like a bug net, but the bottom stays the same waterproof. It's like a can. So mine's like a canvas bottom, and then it has a canvas top that goes on the top of it, and then you can unzip that completely off of it, and then you can zip a bug net on top of them.
Nice.
My wife and I don't. I probably bought them. Well, Landon's 15, so at least 16 or 17 years ago, I would say. And every great once in a while, I'll put them up, just to get them out and stretch them all out because we don't really do a whole lot of it anymore. But I really like to start doing it again. I think it would be a lot of fun.
Yep.
So, I
Absolutely.
was telling you that we can't have fires around here
Yeah.
because of the drought. There was a big wildfire. It's actually still going on, just uh, north, e- northeast of my house, about 20 miles.
Mm. Is it under control or still just raging?
It well, with how bad the wind is, they get it under control, and then it'll jump, and then
Goes again.
then it keeps it's just going it's going pretty good. At least
I
it
hope they
was
get it.
yesterday when I checked on it.
I hope they get it under control and get it out. I know down in your area, that's a pretty well, relatively common occurrence, really. But it's always bad when it happens. I mean, like it's bad for the wildlife and for the areas.
Well, it's up where a bunch of the ranches are, so it's really bad because it's burning up what grass we do have left. I mean, my yard's been brown since June, and
Mm.
that's not common. Like my yard usually does not turn brown until about into August,
Yeah.
and it's been. I mean, there hadn't been any green in my yard.
So it's just all turning into one big tinder bundle.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's not good. That's not good. I really hope it all gets under control. I mean, like that can cause so many problems with not only
it-
wildlife and stuff like that, but people's houses and homes and businesses and everything can suffer because of it. And it's something that it's one of the things I always say, like when you go out into the wilderness, if you are able to have fires, be careful with them because it can happen anywhere. And especially in areas where you're prone to droughts and shortages of rain and stuff like that, you have to be extra careful.
yeah. Well, you know, could you start a fire around here safely? Yes, you could, like a little campfire. You could, but I think the reason why they do a lot of the bands where you can't do it is because the people that just don't know and they'll have too big of a fire and then it gets out of control on them. Instead of keeping it small and out of the wind. I mean, it's possible. I'm not recommending anybody do it, but it's a good thing to practice on doing whenever you can make a fire, keeping it small, keeping it, you know, out of the wind. Get behind some trees or something to keep it out of the wind.
Yeah.
So if you ever
Another
do,
thing, well, one thing I would suggest, if possible, what I always try to do, instead of just building a little circle of rocks and putting your fire in the middle of it, try to put a bunch of flat rocks down to put your fire on. So your fire's not burning on the ground, because that'll help prevent stuff from spreading too.
yeah.
And it
Uh,
just makes it easier for putting it out.
well, then like to keep the wind off of them, you can actually dig a hole if you have something to dig a hole with to get them down, out of the wind, being able to pick a lot of the stuff up and blow it around too. If
Yeah, that works. Dakota Fire Pit, I think it's called, isn't it?
yeah.
Yeah.
So what else do you have coming up on your channel, Al?
Well, I've gotten involved in the cookie collaboration for December, so that will be coming up. I think mine will be dropped on the 24th, but no, on the 12th, sorry, because it's 12 days of cookies. So each day, for starting on December the 1st, I believe, they're going to be dropping 3 videos will be dropped every day for the 12 days. And that I am going to do a chocolate chip cookie with the vanilla from Lazy Days Ahead. So
Oh
that's
yeah.
going. The other thing I got involved in was they're doing it in November and it's soups, but I can't remember Souptacular or something like that. It's called. I can't remember the name that they got on it because
September?
no, it's November. Yeah, it might be because they're doing it in November, so they're doing one every day. I think for the 30 days in November.
Yeah.
31 days. So I don't have the date for that yet because I just signed up for it the other day. But think I think I'm going to do a potato soup recipe that I have. It's almost like a creamy soup, like a chowder type thing.
Yeah.
But really nice. It's a really good soup. So those two are stuff to look out for. And among that, then I've got my regular video drop is going up this Monday for I just got out and went for a walk in the woods and had a decent day out.
So uh the question that I try to ask everybody is what makes not your channel, but what makes you when you think of successful person, what do you think of?
Hmm. Someone that's happy.
That's that has been the consensus for majority of the people that I ask, but
Yeah.
it does vary with people.
Well, some people think of happiness and they're oh, if I had lots of money, I'd be happy.
Well, no, it doesn't.
Um, or if I was famous on YouTube, I'd be happy. I think there's more to it than that because you can have all of the money in the world and still be miserable. I think it's about making friends, having some relationships that you can build and trust, and you know
Yeah.
personal happiness in your life with like me and my wife. We get along. We're doing this YouTube stuff together and everything like that. And, you know, just having people around you that make you happy that you're doing what you're doing,
Yeah.
whether you're popular at it or not, or whether you have lots of money or you don't, or whatever. There's people on here that I talk to that don't even get out of their house, but they're happy because they have people around them like we do, with people coming and going. And there's the ones that are always coming back and talking and chatting and making friends. And I think there's a lot more to it than just saying be happy, but
Yeah.
That's a good one. But yeah, it's I mean, like we're all in a community here, and I don't think I've met anyone that has made it feel like I was never welcome, and that makes me happy to know that people are out there like this.
Yeah. I think I think you have to be able to make people feel welcome, be able to and sit down and have a conversation with them, whether you have a difference of opinion with them or not on things. You still be able have to be able to have a conversation because there's a lot of probably people that have a lot of different views on bushcraft, but you
Yep.
can still talk to them about things to maybe even better yourself or better them,
Yep.
but there might be a few things down there that you might not agree on, you know?
Well, as like me, I could say, well, you've got to take it, like, and I don't, but I could say, I know people that say you don't ever go to the woods without a knife, no matter what.
Yeah.
But I can go to the woods without a knife. I could just take my song, and I'll be happy.
Yeah.
That's just a difference of opinion and a difference of um, a lot of it too is geographically speaking. It's a different location that you're in because the stuff I can take with me is not going to be the same stuff as somebody can take down in the desert.
Yeah.
Right?
Like a
Like,
saw wouldn't do anybody in the desert any good.
no, neither would a sleeping bag that's rated for -40. Right?
Right. Be sweating to death.
So I mean, like, difference of opinion. Yes, everybody is entitled to their own opinion, and it doesn't just range from uh, it doesn't just range into the bushcraft. It's everything. People have difference of opinion on everything, and but you
Yeah.
know what? That's one of the things that keeps things interesting when you're making friends with people and talking and chatting. Is, oh, you think that? Well, I think this. It's talking points a lot. You don't. So, people can use difference of opinion to make things bad, but I would rather take the difference of opinion as a talking point to make it good because then I'm learning about you, you're learning about me, and it's just who we are in relation to each other and where we're to. So rather than making it into something bad, make it into something good.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, that's the I think that's the if everybody was the same had the same opinion, I think life would be pretty boring.
Oh, it will be.
Yeah, so I think you have to be able to take difference of opinion and some sort of criticism well, you know, like there's like what I do for a living, like programming PLCs. You know, there's tons of ways to do it. Now, I've been reprogramming a lot of stuff, updating it, and as I get into these programs, I'm like thinking to myself, why would they do it this way? This is ridiculous. And then it's just how they were taught how to do it. I mean, that's just there's nothing wrong with it.
It's just there's different ways to do it that you might
Yeah,
think are better versus if you brought that to them and said, "Hey, this is a better way to do it," they'd look at you and say, "That's wrong." Right? But I mean, like that's one of the things. Like I said, it makes things like you said, it keeps life interesting for starters because if everybody was all the same, it would be pretty dull. Um, so as like you say, the thing is criticisms and stuff. I'm open to any type of criticism or anything. If you got something wrong with the way I'm doing something, I don't care if you tells me.
well, and there's a way to tell somebody to not hurt their feelings, or
Yeah,
you
I mean,
know,
like you could bring it up and say, hey, I think maybe if you tried this, it might work a bit better.
yeah.
I might try it, I might not. But I'm
So
not
what?
going to take offense by you giving me suggestions or criticizing what I'm doing. I got my videos out there. I know I do some stuff sometimes that doesn't work out. That's just a part of doing it, right?
Yeah.
But I don't. I don't pretend to be all knowing or anything like that because I'm not. And I've said it in many of my videos, if you take away something that's useful from my video, good for you because I'm not trying to teach anybody anything. I'm just out here to have fun.
Yeah. So I'm sitting here. Raquel, I said hello to Raquel at the beginning, and she's over here acting like I didn't.
She might have missed it.
She just needs a little bit of attention. She needs that pat on the back.
I saw Devil Dog in there earlier too, saying something about me typing in chat. So I was like, "Hey, Devil Dog."
he, I think he's gone now.
Yeah, he might be. He's usually pretty busy.
Yeah. He
There's been lots of people coming in
yeah.
and out. I can't see the numbers of that because I only got the pop-up chat opened, so it don't run my bandwidth.
Yeah.
I usually just open the chat, the pop-up chats.
I see barbecue's in here. Barbecue Rockstar is in here. Our treasured home. Hello. Welcome in. No, you didn't. Yes, I did. I did say hello at the very beginning.
It's Our Abundant Life is in. Yeah, it was a
Yeah.
while ago. Devil Dog was in, and he dropped my link and Cottonwood Ranch, and he dropped a few links there.
Yeah, he did. I seen it.
That's the ways back though. So what about you? What do you have anything new coming up or?
It's this month is going to be a little probably different because I did blow my transmission up over yesterday. So or day before Thursday. I didn't. I mean, when I say blow up, like most people say, oh, it just won't go into gear. No, mine's in pieces, laying underneath the truck.
Oh, you busted the gearbox out.
Yeah, the transfer case and the transmission. There's only about an inch and a half of the bell housing still attached to the motor, and the rest of it's all gone. And
do you know what busted inside of it? It had to be one of the gears.
So it appears to me like the 4-wheel drive tried to kick in by itself. I could be wrong, but that's what it looks like. Just because it messed up my front axle too of the truck, so I haven't tore into it because it's all supposed to be under warranty. I don't know how that's going to work because usually they want a core and I guess you could epoxy it all back together. I don't know.
I don't know how well that will work.
But it's in a bunch of pieces.
No, I don't think epoxy is going to work on this. No. There's a thing we got. I don't know if you got it down there. It's called JB Weld.
Yeah.
It's a metal epoxy.
Yeah, I don't know. It may, but I don't know if they'll take it as a core charge or a core change.
No. But hey, when all else fails, throw some duct tape.
Yeah, duct tape. I did put it all in the back of the pickup, so whenever they get it at the shop, they can just be like, it's all there, everything that I picked up.
Here's my transmission that's in the box.
Yeah.
No, I know they wouldn't look at you.
So I did look up the kilometers to miles the other day, Raquel. So 80 kilometers is only like 60 miles an hour or 55 miles an hour here.
60 miles an hour is equivalent to 100 kilometers.
Yeah. So you said you were pulling your trailer at 80 kilometers. So you were going like 60 miles an hour ish, right?
About 55.
55. That's not real fast. KCNC Farms. You were on there when we were talking about it, weren't you, Al? I think so.
Yeah, I remember something. I remember a little bit about that, and she was saying about her trailer. Because you guys were trying to figure out at the time what's the conversion rate between. I think I was just in chat and I was listening as I was doing a few things. I remember you saying that, and I was like, 60 is 100.
Yeah.
I know that. I know that from the conversions, but like our speed limits, our top speed limits here would be around 60 miles an hour. That's on the highway. Highway driving would be 60.
90K is the normal speed for pulling a trailer. Yeah, where you live at, not where we live at.
Yeah,
I
you
was
guys
driving
do
my
like
I was driving my wife's car the other day on the way home, and you can actually switch it because it's digital. You just have to hit two buttons, and it goes from kilometers to miles an hour. And I don't know, I was going like 80 down the highway, and I clicked it over, and I'm like, whoa, hang on a second, I better put that back because that's going to confuse the crap out of me.
yeah, it doesn't seem like as fast when you're going in miles versus kilometers.
No.
Barbecue Rockstar said he didn't think that the JB World was going to hold the housing together. That's why I said add duct tape.
If you go too fast, you will blow your transmission. No, that's not. I wasn't even going fast. And it's not fast here. That's the normal speed.
Yeah, that's just a regular speed limits down there. When you get on highways and stuff like that, you guys drive. You drive. You drive fast.
Well, there's a lot of distance. Well, it's the same way for you guys, I guess, in Canada. Like, to get from my house to Oklahoma City, I don't know how many miles it is, but like, I can do it in 45 minutes. And I
At
can get
what
to Tulsa.
speed?
Yeah,
At what speed?
it's especially if you get on the interstates. Like, if you get on Interstate 35, like the speed limit now is 80 miles an hour. Like, just normal flow of traffic. And like semis will pass you, like you're not even moving if you're going 80 miles an hour.
Well, 80 miles an hour is like 140 or something like that. I think
160.
140, 160. It's 160.
Yeah. That's the one
I
that
thought it was wrong.
that's the one that I remembered.
That is clipping along.
Yeah.
And for us, we'd be down on the highways there, and we'd hit 100 kilometers, so it's like 60, and we're like, we're cruising now, and you guys would be like, zip, 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 zip. What was that?
You drive 60 miles an hour around here, people are going to be behind you lined up.
Yeah. Road rage central.
Yeah.
But that's just a difference of, geographics, I think, too, because down here, I know on our highways here in Newfoundland, I wouldn't want to be going any faster than 100 because of moose, for starters. If a moose popped out, and they're all year round, they will pop out on the roads.
Yeah.
And if you're going at 100, it can be extremely bad. If you're going faster, I don't think there's any hope. So, I think 100 is fast enough for me. Even though I am a bit of a speed demon when I get on the highways, but I'd probably fit right in down there.
Yeah. So it's 3.5 hour drive from my house. So you live pretty close to. You live in Texas. I can be in Dallas from my house. Depends if I drive in 3.5 hours.
Yeah,
I can be
cover a bit of
downtown Dallas, not like at the edge or getting close. I'm talking like downtown.
Well, in retrospective, if I have to drive across Newfoundland, it would take me 8 hours going 10 over the speed limit.
Well,
So it's just across Newfoundland. That's from where I'm to hit the other side of the island. Because I'm right on the outskirts of the Avalon Peninsula. I'm like right out there.
yeah.
So it's 8 hours drive to get to the other side of the island.
So 10 miles over. So I don't know. I don't know how fast I'm going over the speed
10
limit going down.
kilometers. So that would be like 65 maybe
Yeah.
at most, 65 miles an hour.
Well, I can tell you right now, I don't leave my house and go to all the way to Dallas at 65 miles an hour ever.
I don't say.
So you can get on once you get on I-35, you can just go. It's a straight shot to Dallas, pretty much. You have to go through Oklahoma City, but going through the city, you can go through the city 75 miles an hour.
So that's crazy. If we got caught going that speed through the city, no. They take you off of the road, take your license,
Well,
take your car.
the speed limit is 70 through the city.
Yeah.
I mean, so you can go 5 over pretty easy going through the city. If you're not going 5 over, you're getting pushed the whole way.
Yeah. Helicopter fire. I think on the main road that cuts right through the city, I think the speed limit on that is 70 kilometers. So 35, 40 maximum for cutting through the city.
Yeah. Well, like if you go through like Stillwater or like the little town I live in, like the speed limit's 35 miles an hour, and in the town of Stillwater, like down the main road is I think it's 35 miles an hour. I try not to go downtown anywhere if I don't have to. I'm not a huge fan of town. I like living out in the country, and that's just like what I hate going to, like Walmart is like my biggest pet peeve. So like I will strategically plan my way through Walmart so I don't have to backtrack. Like I start here and I'll just boop, 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 and then I'm out. Like my wife, she's like, "How do you get through Walmart so fast?" Because I know where stuff's at and I plan.
You're like me, in and out as quick as you can and get back home. Get away from this. I'd rather like if it was up to me, I'd live out in the middle of nowhere where there's no one around me for miles, only forest.
Yeah.
That's the way I would prefer to live, but I'm stuck on sandwiched between 3 houses where I'm to, so I don't have much wiggle room right here. That's why I like getting out into the woods and stuff.
Yeah.
I think we got Rebecca just came in, I believe.
Yeah, yes, here.
And CNC Farms at Park listening. That's Ashley. Nice.
Yeah, see what Rockstar said? 85.90. That's what most people are running to the city.
Yeah.
I mean,
not here or not.
but it's a interstate that goes through the city. You have I-35 and 40. So it's you're moving through the city.
The way ours is, when you hit the city, the highway ends at the city limits. So once you pass that, like you can be going, now I'm talking kilometers, not miles, but you can be going 100 up until you hit a certain point on the highway. Then the sign changes from 100 down to 60. Then from the 60, it goes down to 40.
Yeah.
So you got to slow down as you get into the city.
Yeah, well, that's how it is in most of the, like, you know, like your smaller towns, but like Tulsa and Oklahoma City, and like Muskogee, it just has the interstate runs right through the middle of the city. So they kind of built the city around. Well, not technically. They built the interstate around the city, and it's just kind of grown around the interstate.
Mm.
And then you get on the turnpikes where you pay to get on the roads. Their roads are horrible. It's not worth it, but you can go so much faster. Like
Fast enough to not feel the bumps.
well, you feel them. The roads in Oklahoma aren't the greatest thing in the world.
Oh, no. Poor old Josh got stuck at work, did he?
Yeah, he did. He got stuck. That he was messaging me. I'm like, well, send me the link. So I was trying to get the link from him, and then he sent me the link, and I'm like, you're not even live. And he's like, no, I'm still stuck at work. I was like, oh well, I'll just pop it up over here on my channel. That way we can get going.
Like I said, it's that happens sometimes. You know, life gets in the way sometimes of the stuff that we're trying to do with this, but that's all a part of it. You know, it's reality. It's not something that can be controlled. And I know there's people that will be saying, you know, oh well, you know, they said they were going on, they didn't show up. You know, stuff happens.
Yeah, and
You can't put life on hold just to come on and do this. Sometimes it's just not possible.
well, and two, you know, YouTube it's a fun thing for me. It's not like I'm making money or anything like that. It's just meant to be fun. It's a way to get on here, talk with some people, kind of, you know, release some stress. So anyway, the lives are abundant life high. Do you mean lights? What are you talking about? The roads in California are better than they are in Oklahoma. I promise. Roughness. I have traveled all over working when used to work over the road, and Oklahoma has some of the worst roads in the dang country. Especially you talking about side roads. There's some side roads that you could park a Volkswagen Bug in, and you could still drive over the top of them, like and make it smooth.
Sounds like here. There's places around here like that.
Yeah, but there are bad roads all over the country, especially when you get off on side roads.
Yeah.
But man, the side roads around here, they'll beat you to death.
Well, Barbecue Rockstar, you'd be more than welcome to come and visit. There's no doubt about that. It's nice here. I gotta say that it is nice here. It's a nice spot to live. The winters can be a bit harsh sometimes, but we're pretty climatized to that. Like,
there you go, Josh. I posted the link. I did a bear hunt up in Canada whenever I was 21. I want to say
in northern Ontario, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was in northern Ontario. That's where I was at, and we were out in the middle of the bush for probably 3 weeks doing it. So it was kind of interesting. It was a lot of fun. I mean, we had a blast while we were doing it. We were so where they said the bear were at, we ended up I don't know how many miles we hiked. It wasn't a whole lot, but it was just so dense, you know, with where it was at. It just took it out of you to get 5 miles. It was kind of crazy.
That's something that a lot of people don't realize about where I'm at.
Yeah.
in northern Canada, the way the forest is, it's considered rainforest. It is because um, it's like going through jungle.
Yeah.
It's not. People think, oh well, I know a lot of people can go and there is hardwood forests in that in Canada. They're pretty easy walking. I'm not going to say it's all like it because it's not.
Yeah.
There are places where you can go and you can walk very easily through the woods. But when you go up into a lot of the northern parts, in amongst all the evergreen trees is shrubs, and they're not like little things you can just push out of the way. These things are grown, woven together. They
Yeah.
really slow you down. It's really hard to get through. Um, and it's really hard when you're walking because you don't know exactly where you're putting your feet when you step into something.
Yeah. So
So,
hang on a second. Barbecue Rockstar hopped up in the chat down there.
yep.
It's or not in the chat, but in the basement. It's more for Josh because it's a deal. It's an interview that Josh and I do. So any other time, you're more than welcome to hop up here. It's just an interview, and I don't want to take away from Al's channel. That's what we're doing.
Yeah, that's
So
right. Well, it's the difference in the forest between the coniferous and deciduous forest.
yeah,
That's where in the tangly stuff and that comes from when you're walking through the woods.
yeah, like like I did a ram hunt up in Alaska, and I thought, well, I'll go do this bear hunt too. It'll be a lot of fun. It'll be just like it. No, it wasn't anything. In Alaska, we were hunting them rams, and we were going up and down these mountains, and I would rather have done that than try to.
The forest.
You got all of your gear you're trying to get through all of this forest on. It was like, what is going on, guys?
Yeah. Every step you take, it feels like somebody's grabbing you, and just
Yeah,
yanking up on you, or yanking you to the side, or something.
yeah. It's it was but it was a lot of fun. I wish I would have started YouTube then and recorded all of that stuff. Uh, because you know, back then I didn't have kids or anything at that point, so we were going. I was going and going to all these hunts because I love that's what I love to do. But didn't do it.
Yeah.
Evans Family Adventure. Hello. Hey, Josh just muted himself.
Hey,
Yeah.
Josh.
So barbecue Rockstar. It's a deal that Josh and I had started to interview a channel. But I will gladly let you come up one day, and you can email Josh or I, and we can schedule you up to do an interview about your channel.
I had a load of rock hauled in the other day at work, and wasn't supposed to be there till next week, but he brought it early, and I had the room, so I had to take the skid steer in, move a bunch of crap around, move all the rock. These guys are burying forklifts and about dumping them over, and I'm like, it was just a mess today.
So, do you have
So
any
that
questions? Do you have any
you
questions?
probably already asked them all.
I asked a few. I was dragging it out, seeing if you were going to hop on.
He
I
was
didn't know
letting
how long
me.
Al
He was
had.
letting me be very long-winded.
That's not hard to do, is it? No, I just wanted. He's been doing a lot of lives and talking to a lot of people. I thought, well, let's bring him up and push him out there some more.
Thank you. I really appreciate the opportunity that you guys give me here to come up and talk about me. No, but I do. But I do appreciate it because this is what it's all about. It's about getting together, making friends, and
How long are you doing your in the woods collab thing?
right now there's me, there's Tony from Stone Wolf Camping, there's Johnny from Expeditionary Johnny, Jamie from Lower Michigan Hiking and Camping, and I think Becca said she wanted to get in on it, so she might be doing something for it. I think there's another one, but I'm not 100% sure. But we're all going to drop the videos with the hashtag Camp Challenge Alliance, and there's nothing attached to that hashtag right now, so it should be very easy to find all the videos.
Okay. I thought about doing that 24-hour thing. I'm like, but I can walk 15 feet out my back door and be in the woods. I mean,
yeah, sure, that's perfect. That's what I was saying. That's what I was saying to Mitchell there earlier. Was it's not about. It's not even about really going off real far in the woods. You don't have to go far. You could do it in your backyard if you wanted to. It's more about just getting out and having a bit of fun.
well, I would probably go down to my deer blind. I got a ground blind set up down in the woods because it's time. I thought I could spend a day down there just deer hunting.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then the thing with that too is like if you're bow hunting or whatever, that doesn't count as items. So stuff like that is all fine. It's just about showcasing the 5 particular items that you took for a camping experience, and just taking it easy, having a bit of fun, and being able to share out the videos with people that might not get out to do it, or people that want to do it and say, well, hey, I can go with just a few things. I don't have to have the whole house on my back when I go.
Yeah.
Or like Jesse's RV. That was funny in the comments the other day when we were talking about it. I think that the next time you do it, I'll definitely try to plan a day or 2 days where we're not doing anything. That way we can start one morning and then, Now,
in saying that too, they're not all going to be overnight trips. So it's not always going to be an overnight trip. It's not always going to have to be an overnight trip. We might do an overnight trip, but the video itself might not have to be an overnight trip. This first one we did the 24 hours because I was just thinking along the lines of, a bit of a survival challenge type thing or whatnot. But for some of the other ones, there's going to be things like build a camp chair or build a table out of like natural stuff. Stuff like that. And you can just go and go on out for the day and do your video, and you have it.
Yeah, that would be pretty neat. So you build a table with like your 5 items that you would take out in that kind of situation.
Oh no. For something like that, you could take whatever you want to build it, but just show what you're taking and the tools you're using, and just the process of actually building what you're building.
Facing reality. That's a new one.
So I met them over at Kevin's Tuber Chats.
Nice.
A while back, I've been a subscriber to them for a while, and they pop into mine pretty frequently. So if you guys are not subscribed to Al Chafe's My Backstep, he is a really great guy. He does he's in a bunch of lives, so you almost feel like you know him before you go watch any of his videos, especially if you go to a lot of the lives that he's in. Like he's over at Devil Dogs and Raquel's quite a bit. He's over at I can't think of
Dave Collier's,
yeah, and
Belt Loops.
Yeah, Belt Loop, Gary.
Yeah.
So you get to know Al personally pretty good before you even watch any of his videos, and so you kind of feel like that's one of the nice things about the lives. You do feel like you know somebody, right?
Well, it's like by getting to know people on a more personal level. Like I can put out 100 videos of bushcrafting, but you don't really know me. you know that aspect of what I'm doing.
Yeah.
These lives allow us to connect on a more personal level, whereas, okay, you know more about my life as me.
Mm-hmm.
And if I ran into you on the street, it'd be, hey, Mitchell, how you doing? What's
Yeah.
up? How have you been? Talk about whatever. It would be more like meeting an old friend than
Yeah.
if if say I had 10 million followers. Probably never in my lifetime. But say I had 10 million followers, I've never done a live, and you ran into me. You'd know me because you're watching my videos.
Mm-hmm.
I would never know who you were.
Yeah.
I might know your name. Hi, Mitchell.
Yeah.
You'd probably have to come up and say to me, hi, I'm Mitchell. I followed your videos. Whereas now, if we ran into each other on the street, we'd be like, oh, hey, how you doing?
Yeah. Yeah, and it does work that way. I went to a YouTube meetup deal in Kansas, and I met Dale, Gathered Together, Jan. I mean, quite a few people. Rebecca was there, and it's just like you. It wasn't a big deal to meet them because I've met them through live streams so many
Yep.
times. There wasn't that break in the ice because I already had done that by me talking to him in YouTube or in the live stream.
It's like when I went to Kentucky last month. I think it was last month, whenever it was. And and you walk up and you see people you've been talking to for a year or two. And it's not walking up, shaking hands. Just walk up, you get a hug from this one and that one, and
Yeah.
you grab him and jump in the pool with her. But it's a whole lot different than what I ever thought it would be. I mean,
Yeah.
Well, like I
It's
said, when I go ahead.
I just think that's the neat thing about the YouTube and the live streams is you're able to actually, people say you can make friends on YouTube, like in the chat, and then get back and forth. And I have, like, there's a lot of people that watch a lot of my repair videos, like my tractor repair videos. That's overseas. I've never seen them in a live stream, but they email me back and forth a lot. But it's not the same as like, you guys, where I've actually had conversations with you. I think you can make better friends that way.
Well, it's like when I first started out doing my YouTube videos, that's all it was me putting up videos and responding to people in the comments, not even live chatting on like the premieres and stuff. It was all just go back and forth in comments. And I met a couple of friends through that way, no doubt about it. There's one person that still has been with me since the beginning that has never been on a live. I don't know if they ever will go on a live, but I messages them back and forth on the phone. I back and forth through emails. I don't even think we've actually spoken on the phone, but we're good friends. But just like you say, getting together like this, where we can actually sit down and face to face, so to speak, have a conversation,
yeah,
it gets a little bit more in depth because if you
more
write
personal.
out something in an email, it's there. That's it. There's no back and forth questioning. There's no, oh well, what do you think about this or that or anything else? It's just here's the email. You respond back to that
Yeah, you
particular
go back
email.
and delete a bunch of. Oh, I didn't mean that. How did need to word that different? And here it's
Yeah.
like, well, hold on.
It's a little bit of the human aspect that gets taken out of it, and this live streaming puts a lot of that into it.
Yeah,
So it makes a big difference. I think it's building a stronger community amongst a lot of us that are on here.
yeah, that's a big part of it. I think. Um, it is more. Everybody talks about community, and when I took Amy with me to Kentucky this past year, because I went last year and she didn't go, and she was sitting talking to some people. She's like, I can't believe it's like a family reunion.
Yep.
I mean, it's people we talk to like this on a weekly basis.
Yep.
It is more of a community, not just I don't know what you call it, but
Well, with just the videos, I think it was a there was somewhat of a community there, but it was more of a one-sided thing.
Yeah.
Whereas this is a more in-depth experience of who we are and what we're about, and like who we are as a person more so than who we are as a content creator.
Yeah.
Because like we're all content creators. That's how we got started on this. So that part of us is out there. That's what we like doing. But this whole StreamYard is who we are.
Let's see, where's your channel at now, Al? Is it?
I am currently sitting at, I believe, 460 odd subscribers and almost 2,000 watch hours.
Well, hopefully yours blows up like Lazy Maze did. Because was it 2 weeks ago we interviewed her? She had 82 subscribers. Now she's got 1,500.
Wow.
And all of her watch hours.
That is amazing.
She started that channel September 11th. And she's got 1,500 subscribers already. I'm like, good night. And she went by me like I was going the other way.
That is nice. Well, if that happens, I will be back. I'll be setting up a second interview.
There's a, it's funny. Like I've interviewed quite a few people that were a lot smaller than what my channel. My channel's not big by any stretch of the imagination, and neither's Josh's. Comparatively, but then they will. I don't know, and they don't do a whole lot of stuff after we interview them, but they'll just boom shoot up like crazy. It's like maybe the YouTube caught it. I don't know.
That's good to hear, though. I mean, like that's great. And one of the things that I really like about this is how willing people are to help other people out. I mean, like there's a smaller channel that I was following them since right from the get-go. As soon as they started up, they had like 15 subscribers, and I was following them and messaging them and talking to them and helping them out with stuff. As I'm learning stuff, I'd pass it on to them because they were smaller than me, so I knew they didn't know as much as what I knew. So I was just passing the information that like Devil Dog or Gary was telling me this or that or whatever. Then I'd go to them and say, hey, well, this is what I learned. Try it out. And turned around one day when I looked, and they were gone way past me on subscribers. And I was like, well, it's working.
Yeah.
And I mean, like
Eddie Devil Dog blew by me. He's like, I'm coming for you, Mitchell. He's like, I'll never catch Josh. He's 100 over me now.
Yep.
But he's everywhere.
He's blew right up with it. He's just.
And I think that has a lot to do with it. I think if you get in a lot of the live stream chats and you start talking to a whole bunch of people, I think you're able to grow a little quicker than like myself. I don't have a whole lot of time during the week just to go hop in a bunch of chats, especially like the last 2 weeks. I have been super swamped at work, and I think earlier in the spring, whenever I did have time, I was growing a lot faster. But I right now, and probably until the spring again, I probably won't have time.
Well, what I found was before I started streaming, like going on live streams with people, and even not doing my own, just going up with people, my subscriber count was kind of stuck below 200. And when I started doing the live streams, now I'm almost at 5. So it's really helped. It's really helped, like, people getting to know me, and then they're saying, okay, well, what's he doing on his channel? And looking back at the videos and that I've been doing. And I've been getting a lot of people that come on my channel new and go back to my earlier videos and watch them because they've gotten to know me in live streams, so they're just going back to see what was I talking about with this or that or whatever, and they're going back and watching my older videos. and leaving comments and stuff. Oh, it's for you.
Yeah, not important. I am waiting on the call to see if I can get this truck hauled to Tulsa today, so I can get.
Well, I hope that works out for you because that was that's not an easy fix. That's not.
I seen
Yeah.
the short that you grenaded it for sure.
Yeah, I did. It was definitely interesting.
Mitch, we need one
It
of
was
these.
going down the road. It was definitely an exhilarating experience, I will say, because the drive
bet.
shaft started slapping around. It was like,
Trying to get
woo!
the stock trailer shut down and everything else.
Yeah,
How many goats did you have in there?
like 20 or so. I don't know. I didn't get a count of them. Whenever because a buddy of mine was going the opposite direction, I just called him and asked him to turn back around, and we hopped all my goats from my trailer into his, and then he took them up to the cell for me. So I didn't. We just started pulling goats at the house just because of the drought and what it's going to take in hay and everything. So and
Yeah.
goats are pretty easy to multiply pretty quick.
I can't afford to get started in them.
Well, the right now is from now till about July, the prices of goats are really high, and then they usually taper off in the summer and fall because of the market demand and what. So when you grow goats for meat, like what we do, and you're selling them, you have to look at the markets and the trends in the markets, and a lot of it comes down to ethnic,
I know what you mean.
food.
Yeah.
I don't want to say it wrong and sound like an asshole, and that's what if you do
Well,
it.
this is one of the things about the live streaming too. You got no editing room here.
Yeah,
It's all recorded live. You know, it's like, oh, that didn't sound quite right. Let's go back and do it again. No.
Yeah, so
But I know what you're talking about. It has to do with the demographic of people that are looking for the product.
yeah, and oddly enough, goat meat. And well, the last statistic I seen, it may have changed now, but is one of the most consumed meats in the world. So
That's what I seen.
so there's a huge demand for it. It's just
Yeah,
it is what it is.
Tiffany. Well, if the big sale barn I go to here, there's a couple guys come in there with, and I have 3 or 4 semis in there, and you can watch them across the arena from each other, watching each other, and they'll kind of nod at one another. And well, this one will buy every goat, sheep comes through there on this round, and then they'll run some pigs through, and oh, here comes some more goats, and that guy will buy the rest of them. I'm like, I can't, and they're just running them up, and then one of them will just stop. So they're keeping the little guys out of it, and they're taking everything. So
Well, that's not necessarily what they're doing. That's what happens though, because so the meat buyers, so your meat market, so they will tell the buyers, because I'm friends with a bunch of the buyers. They'll tell the buyers they have X amount for this many pounds that they need. So then they'll go out and figure out how much they can spend per head of a goat or lamb or whatever it is. So they can go in there and say they're capped at $2 or $3.20 for this particular sale to buy meat. Well, they'll go in there and they'll run it up to that line, and then the next guy, he may be buying meat for another meat processor, and he's able to go to 340 or 350, whatever the case may be. So, but it does keep a lot of the guys out of it.
yeah, and they do the same thing with pigs. I mean, I'm like, and pigs ain't bringing much here, but goats and sheep are bringing $3-4 a pound, where calves are bringing $1.40. I'm like, I sold a couple calves this year. I'm like, that was a waste. I should have just let them out there and let them eat. But
Well, so I that's one. So I have the livestock. I understand it a lot because I've been pretty passionate about it pretty much my whole life. So honestly, you can make more per acre with goats than you can just about any other breed or species of animal, depending on a lot of variables. I mean, once you just for feeding or raising for market wise, you can by a long ways. But you get into your show cattle, your show lambs and show pigs, you can make just as much as one another that way. But the pigs, see, they passed a bill in Oklahoma where you can't take pigs to the sale barn unless the sale barn has a fully concreted floor, and no other animal can run across the floor, the cell ring, until the ring has been sanitized.
yeah, there's a farm up north of me that's like that they won't let you in there. I mean, and if like I went to buy some pigs here a couple years ago, I had to sanitize the trailer before I could even drive it on his lot. And then he wouldn't let me in there. He's like, "No, I'll run them in your trailer. We don't let people in here." So I'm
Yeah.
like, okay,
Yeah, it's the especially when you get into like the show pigs, their breeders are a lot. They're very strict on the rules. Like a lot of time, if they'll let you in the barn, you might have to wear like the boot covers, so
hmm
anything that falls off your shoes is trapped in your shoe in your that boot cover. So
Well, I
you
had that
know,
one show pig, and she got sick, and I found out later on that the people I got her from are notorious for having sick pigs. So she got sick, which made three of my other pigs sick, and I was like, no more, because I was going to sell her. I mean, she was a $600 pig,
yeah.
and she was probably worth about $1,000 when I finally got rid of her. I'm like, I'll never again get pigs from her from those people. And I'm like, why are you giving me this pig? You spent $600 for your kid to show it. Now you're giving it to me, and I know why now. I'm like,
Well, and they may not have had an issue with it because a lot of those changes. So pigs are really
but
people
they're
think
they're
that
notorious for sick pigs. This
yeah.
family,
Well,
family, I didn't find out
Pigs
till
are
later on.
sensitive to their environment, I think.
pigs aren't as hardy as what people are led to believe.
No, they're not.
Um, because you see all these wild pigs. Well, those are just the ones that survived everything that
Yeah,
they have. I mean, the your pig, real a big shift in temperature. You can have one sick overnight and just because it dropped 30 degrees
yeah.
and then jump back up 20 degrees. Pigs are really a lot finickier than what they are led to believe, for sure. But that's subject for another day. We're talking about Al's channel.
Yeah, I don't know how we got off on this. Sorry.
I don't either.
Touching on that stuff, my grandfather had goats and chickens and ducks and cows, and I used to help him out with that stuff when I was younger. But pigs are something that he never ever did get on his little farm that he had because they were harder to look after. So I know whenever, because our temperature range here, one day it can be 20, 30 degrees, the next day it can be below freezing. So he never ever got involved with pig farming so much. And in fact, most all the pig farms that are here in Newfoundland now are closed and gone. So the buildings are just left. I did a video on it a while ago where I went and explored an old abandoned pig farm, but most all of them in Newfoundland are completely gone. There's no more pig farming.
Well,
And I
one of
think
my
it's
barns
oh,
that I used
go
to raise
ahead.
pigs in has concrete floor, and I've got the hog lot out here. They're raising them on dirt, and I think the ones on dirt taste better than the ones we did up in the barn
Yeah.
on concrete.
That's a big debate. I don't know. The pigs on concrete. We're not going to get into that. I
We can
could
do
go
this
on.
later, Mitchell. We'll
Huh?
talk about Al. Let's do
Yeah.
this. We'll talk about that
But
later. Let's talk about Al for a while.
Al, I will say I think probably the main reason why the pig farms have gone away is because the integrated farming that the big corporations are doing, and
Big
that has
business.
hurt a lot of your small communities.
But now some of them were pretty big operations here, but it was like you
Yeah.
said, the big businesses can afford to do it for cheaper, so it just weeded out all of the home pig farms.
Yeah.
But that happens with a lot of stuff. People don't realize is a lot of businesses end up that way because of the bigger corporations coming into town. People think, oh, it's great, we got a big corporation, they're going to make jobs for people. Okay, but you're putting this family out of business.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Or you're putting a bunch of smaller businesses out of business, not just a one family.
Yeah. But that happens, and I suppose that's just something that everybody has to adapt to, no matter where you're to.
Yeah. So we've pretty well covered everything, at least that I can think of. Unless Josh has some more questions.
I've been on enough of Al's streams. I got a pretty good feel for him. So I've been watching him a while. But like I said, the main reason I want to do it is to help push him out. And sorry, I'm ordering parts here at the same time. But I don't know. Mitchell had most of the questions from when we started doing this. I had a list. I don't know what I'm done with it, but.
Well, one thing that's going to be coming up, I think I'm going to be doing it on with Devil Dog now. I bought a little nitro. Y'all know I did the one chip challenge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've seen how well that went.
Yeah.
I have little nitro to do now. This thing here is 2 million Scoville units. Little nitro is 9 million Scoville units. So I'm anticipating quite a lot of burning and maybe some bleeding. Because I wasn't anticipating bleeding when I ate the chip, and I bled. So
was it your tongue? What was it? Did you figure out what was
I don't
bleeding?
know. I'm thinking it was either the blood vessels in my tongue or in my gums might have bled or something like that. Because
I knew last I heard you wasn't sure.
First I thought I dug a piece of the chip in my tongue or something. I just couldn't feel it because it was burning so much. But the next day I went and I looked, and there was no cuts or anything like that. I was just spitting out gobs of blood.
So I seen a video of a guy that was doing those, but he would take a drink of something before he was eating the chip. Well, it turns out what he was drinking beforehand, it was like coating his tongue and a lot of the stuff in his mouth. Yeah.
He was probably drinking vegetable oil or something.
Yeah, so it wasn't hitting him as hard as it was everybody else. Like, that was kind of cheating.
That is cheating. I mean, like, I don't eat spicy foods. If you watch my videos where I'm cooking stuff, man, I put a little salt and pepper on stuff. That's enough for me. I don't use anything hot, spicy, or anything like that. So I went from basically maybe 10 Scoville units to 2 million. So that was bad.
Yeah, like I eat jalapenos on a daily basis, so it's just
you'd be a little. It would hurt. It would suck.
Oh yeah. Well,
but
like
you'd be a little bit more used to the burn than what I was.
Do you guys have like Buffalo Wild Wings or anything like that there?
We got some hot wings and stuff like that, but nothing like what you got down there.
So there's the restaurant's called Buffalo Wild Wings, and they have their blazing wings, which is their hottest ones that they sell. And I don't know what they are. And everybody just talks about how hot these things are, and I just can sit there and eat them, and they're like, "How are you doing that?" And I was like, well, "One bite at a time." I don't know. I like hot food.
Tasty.
Yeah.
I like the mango habanero ones. I don't care for the blazing, but
The blazing one it just depends what restaurant you go to, because it's almost like they add vinegar to it. Some of them,
really,
and they're not very good when they have all the vinegar in them.
Yeah, I think what they're doing with the vinegar is trying to dilute a little bit of the hot sauce, take some of the heat off of it, because I think the vinegar is it might neutralize some of the
Maybe
oil.
it may. I don't know, but I don't like the vinegary taste with those particular wings.
Yeah.
I like just the regular blazing wings.
I mean, I tried it.
And then my kids get the sweet honey ones. One time, my wife and I we were sitting eating, and she didn't realize, or she didn't think about it, and she cut a piece of a wing off, or pulled a piece of wing off, and she ate it, and what it lit her up. It was pretty funny because she doesn't like hot food at all.
Cindy, I think that's what happened with me, because with this thing, have you ever done it, Mitchell? No.
Yeah.
Josh, you did it before, didn't you?
Yeah,
You said you did it.
I done the 2020 version.
When you put it in your mouth, like I was thinking, okay, I'm gonna try to eat this thing as quick as possible, so I'm gonna build up a bit of saliva in my mouth so I can chew it up and swallow it quick and have it gone. That doesn't happen. When you put it in your mouth and chew, it sucks every bit of moisture. You could have probably a bottle of water in your mouth, and it sucks all the moisture into the chip, and it turns into this thick, gooey, sticky paste. It's like having dry oatmeal in your mouth.
It was awful.
And
So-
it does not taste good. It has a very...
Bland.
No, not even... It
No,
has a
it-
taste.
The taste
Well,
is just it's not
If it
good.
tasted like anything, is if you throw a piece of wet cardboard on the floor and walk on it for
Yeah.
a week and then pick it up and eat it. That's
Yeah,
probably how it tastes.
with a lot of spice on it. Yeah, that's what mine
And then
tastes
it's and people that say they put it in their mouth and it doesn't
Mitchell.
burn right away, no, it burns right away. I'm sorry, it does. If it's not burning them right away, they're probably after eating something already.
I've when I ate mine, it took a few minutes to build up, and then
Did it? Mine was instant. As
But I
soon as I
got a
put
hot
it in
tub.
my mouth, it just started burning everything. And I'm like, oh my God, I gotta chew this up and try. And then they're saying, show me your tongue, show me your tongue. I was like, I can't swallow it yet.
I eat a lot of hot food too. I like spice, so and it got hot, but once I hit about 3 minutes in, it started to kind of cool back off. I'm like, this is just it just didn't taste good. If it at least tasted good, it'd been one thing, but it didn't taste good at all.
And see,
Yeah.
where you're eating spicy foods too, that might make the difference in how quickly the heat hits.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Right? Where I don't eat spicy foods, as soon as that touched my mouth, it was just instantly hot.
Yeah, because when I did it, it wasn't hot like right away. I could taste the old cardboard corn chip. It's like an old Frito kind of, like, you know, that you find an old Frito in the cabinet, like in the bag that's half empty,
And
you
you
know.
decide, I wonder what this tastes like. And I was, no, it's not good.
Yeah. So I could taste that at the beginning, and then I could taste the heat. And
I just insta heat. Yeah.
I've got another one upstairs, and everybody's like, "Why don't you eat it again?" No.
Well, I seen the crowd of people that you had there when you ate yours, Josh. That was that was rather funny. They all got a good kick out of it.
Yeah.
He had like a whole family event thing. Everybody was there, and they're all cheering. Eat it, eat it. It's like, okay, it's not good.
Yeah. Amy's brother-in-law was like, "Let's watch him puke." I'm like, "I ain't gonna puke." But that wasn't the bad part. It was later on that night when I got the stomach issues. I was like, "This is not good."
I felt mine work through my stomach, but it was uncomfortable for a little while, but then it kind of got okay. Like it kind of went.
It didn't hurt my stomach so much as it hurt the other end, I guess.
It only happened twice with me, but it wasn't super bad. It was only twice I went to the bathroom and I knew it came out, and then I was done. It was fine.
I went to the bathroom, I think 3 times, and I was like, "Oh my God."
Yeah. No, mine wasn't that bad. It wasn't, oh my God. It was like, okay, it's coming out.
I've never had anything burn as bad as it did coming out. So you guys must have been eating something wrong.
Well, that's now, I'm thinking, because I got hair, I'm thinking this little guy is going to be bad coming out.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably, from what I've seen people eat of them, they're not like a regular gummy bear. You just chew it up. That one's supposed to be like, I don't know how to word it.
I was squeezing it this way. I didn't open it, but I was squeezing it, and he does feel soft. I think it depends on how old they are. Some of the older ones the bear gets solid. The newer it is, it's kind of squishy like a gummy bear. So I'm hoping this is a bit newer and it's a bit squishier, so it's not so hard to try and chew it up. But they say you're supposed to chew it for 30 seconds and then last for 5 minutes. The chip was an hour.
Yeah.
This little guy's only 5 minutes. So
I could have went longer on the chip, but they'd already brought me out some ice cream at the 5-minute mark. I'm like, well, I'm not just going to sit there and melt. I'll eat it. And I didn't need it. The heat was gone. But
well, I think it took about a half an hour for me for the chip to start getting better.
I mean, it was hot, and then once it started fizzling out, it was all right. But I'm like, you've seen my fat ass. You put some ice cream in front of me, I'm going to eat it.
It's been a while since I did the chip challenge. I don't remember how long it was. Like I ate it, and then I was doing some stuff, and then because it was some guys at work, a guy at work brought a bunch of them in for us all to eat, and they slid one to me because I always get the hot food every time we order something. And I ate it, and I said I was doing something, and they're just sitting there all staring at me because they're all sitting over there, just pounding their drinks, and I'm just sitting there writing stuff down, doing what I'm supposed to be doing, and they're like, "Are you kidding me right now?" And I was like, "What? It's not that bad, guys. Calm down." Thanks for tapping in, Chef.
Hey, Chef.
Drunken Chef is here. How you doing, buddy? I was just talking to him there this morning for a little while, actually.
Well, guys, if we don't have a whole lot left to talk about, I'm going to have to get this truck to Sapulpa, Tulsa area, and try to get them to get that transmission fixed as soon as possible because down to one vehicle sucks.
Yeah. That's right. I'm getting the front end of Amy's Expedition rebuilt. I mean, all of it. I had it in the shop a couple weeks ago for something. And he's like, the front end shot. And I'm like, yeah, okay. Well, the other night she came home. She's like, that sounds funny. Her front right tire's about to fall off. I had to order wheel bearings and everything. I'm like, no, when get new wheel bearings, a whole new front end, got to have it aligned. Well, it's pushing where it needs tires. So there's another. I don't even want to price tires. I don't even want to know. But well, and I just rebuilt the rear end, all the trailing arms and everything, last year. But I said never again. Well, I'll send it somewhere and let them deal with it because I'm not beating on them ball joints and everything else. I'm not beating them out of there. So that's why I was back and forth ordering parts here.
I have that ball joint press. It makes it awesome.
I bet.
Put it on there, hit the impact.
I'm under there with a freaking torch and a hammer and Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Mitch will bring your tools up, and we'll just
Yeah.
roll her
You-
back in the barn.
It would be a whole lot easier for you just to bring the truck down because my toolbox is huge.
When it's easier to bring the truck than it is the toolbox, I think you have too many tools.
Yeah, so my wife and I were talking about that about a month or so ago. Because there was a young guy come over and he was kind of wanting to get some tools to because he's he just graduated high school last in the spring, and he went to automotive school and whatnot, and he wanted to look at all my tools because I've known his family for a long time. And I kind of showed him my basic stuff, and he looks at me and he's like, "How much do you have in tools?" And I said, "Well, I'm not going to tell you in front of my wife."
Yeah.
And he just looks at me like I'm crazy. I was like, "Being a mechanic, you will learn. You will have more tools than probably your house costs."
Yeah.
So
Gets pretty pricey.
yeah. Well, because what did it for me is like I went to Caterpillar school, I went to Deutz Diesel school, I went to Isuzu Diesel and gas engine school, and then so all of the specialty tools that I have to know that I have to have for like Caterpillar, John Deere, the um, the Isuzu, the Deutz. I mean, you have to have specialty tools in all of those different engines, and they're not cheap. Never have enough tools. That's what I tell my wife, but she doesn't buy it.
Yeah, I've got two toolboxes over there full, overflowing. I need a third, and then I still don't have everything I need for what I do. I mean, I had to go the other day. I was changing something. I don't remember what it was now. I had to go to town just to buy another freaking tool. It was only like $43, but she's like, "For what? How many times are you going to use that?" And I'm like, "Well, once right now, but eventually I'll use it again."
How many tool chests I have? Well, so I don't know if you're familiar with Snap-on toolboxes, but you can add to them. So,
They grow
Techni-
exponentially.
yeah,
It's one.
technically it's one.
There's just 17 all put together. How
So-
far off am I? Tell me how far off I am. I said 17.
There's 9.
So I'm not that far off.
So there's the top. There's 3 tops and 3 bottoms, and then three sides on the right side, and then one bench deal on the left side with a vise, and then there's drawers underneath it. But you have to have a step stool to get in the top.
That's
I'm
you're short.
huh?
That's just because you're short.
Well, I'm just right at under 6 foot, so
Just right under.
yeah.
Trying to squeeze some more inches
Just
in there,
right.
Mitchell.
That's what I tell the wife. I says, "Well, you're 5 feet. Well, I'm being generous, but you're 5 feet."
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm 5'10", 5'11", just depends what doctor I go to.
Depends on the measurement.
5'9".
Huh?
I thought you were 5'9".
I'm 5'10",
I think
5'11".
it just depends on how much is cut off at the beginning of the measuring tape.
Well, I don't know. That's every doctor's different. So, and one doctor, I'm 6'2", and I'm like, no, that's not. No, I'm not. I know I'm not 6'2".
I'm
So-
6'2". I mean, I know every doctor I go to, I'm 6'2" and a quarter, 6'2", 6'2" and a half. I'm like, I'm 6'2".
Yeah.
I'm exactly 6 feet, and that's what I've been for as long as I can remember.
You know, the one that really surprised me is I met Dale and Lisa in person, and I knew Dale was going to be short, but I didn't realize he was going to be that short. And then you get Glenn and Jessica. So from Gathered Together, like you don't realize how tall Glenn is. He's tall dude.
That's one of the things that's really deceiving about this is you're on talking to these people and looking at them every day and you're saying, oh yeah. When you meet them, it's like, hi. Or,
Yeah,
hi. I didn't know you were that small.
yeah.
Where did you come from?
Well, I mean, I
Fucking-
knew Dell was shorter than me because we talked about it on a live stream, and then I get there and I'm like, "Hey, Dale, how you doing?"
Well, I had an experience. I had somebody talking to me that wanted a tattoo done up, and I've never met them, so I did up the tattoo. I seen them on camera a couple of times, so I was thinking, okay, they're a pretty sizable fellow. So I did up the tattoo, and when I met them, they were like tiny. You know, I was like, the tattoo is too big for you. Sorry, I can't do that tattoo. I said, I thought you were much bigger than what you were. And he's like, no, I'm a tiny fellow. I said, oh. Ended up having to do a completely different tattoo for them.
So, Sydney Brown, I have both. I have Matco Snap-on, Cornwell, just about all of the traveling toolbox tools, salesmen's. It just depends what I need when that truck showed up. But a vast majority of them are Snap-on.
Snap-on seems to be the big name in tools.
Well, they show up regularly. The other guys don't show up, at least in my area. And I've talked to other people, and they're like, "Man, my Matco guy is here all the time." Well,
the big names that we got here is Snap-on. I think they're pretty much worldwide.
yeah,
Makita
Thanks,
and
Tiffany. We'll see you.
seems to be the three biggest ones here. Now there's other ones out there, King Canada and stuff like that. That's more of a budget tool. But that's probably the three biggest is the Makita, Snap-on, and DeWalt.
yeah.
And they'll cover everything from air compressors to wrenches.
Yeah, and that's my deal was if I needed something that the day that the truck showed up, I got it off of whatever truck it was. Like Snap-on, I bought a lot of stuff off of the Snap-on truck that I probably didn't need at the time, but I have used, so it's one way, half a dozen the other, especially all those traveling tool trucks and stuff, their prices on them are all high. So it doesn't matter. But you break it. I've never turned in a tool and them say they can't fix it. And you can work, especially working on heavy equipment, you can get pretty nasty with tools pretty quick, and they just hand you another one. Off you go.
That's that's what you're paying for too, is the warranty on the tools. I mean, like most of these bigger guys got lifetime warranties on their stuff. If you break it, it's just instantly replaced.
Well, and
no hassle, no.
That's one of the things that I didn't realize getting into being a mechanic whenever I was a a lot younger, is Craftsman has a lifetime warranty, and it's just as good. But whenever you tell them you're a mechanic, then they want you to buy the professional grade. They don't like to warranty stuff and I think a lot of it too is the person that you're dealing with at the box store, wherever you're at. If they know that you're a mechanic and you constantly keep bringing in ratchets to them, well, you need the professional grade because you're a mechanic. You do that for a living, and their professional grade, it's about the same price as the Snap-on stuff.
Yeah.
But all tools break.
Yeah.
Some will just take a little. It's like the Snap-on pliers. I have never broke a set of Snap-on pliers. Knock on wood.
I was just going to say, knock. Goes out trying to fix up your transmission and snaps your pliers now. That will not be good.
If you're using pliers on transmission, you probably shouldn't be working on it.
No.
If I was you getting for a mechanic, would you go Snap-on or Matco? Well, what kind of tools do they have, and what field of work do they do? I guess it doesn't matter. I would probably go Snap-on just because Snap-on is probably more prevalent, at least in my area.
You get a Snap-on truck around my town more than you get Matco. I mean, it's just
Yeah. I don't know.
just whatever's more convenient.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of a loaded question because most mechanics would tell you what tool they need.
Yeah.
Like if you came up to me and I was doing it for a living, I don't know that I would. I mean, I guess a gift certificate would be nice. She works on semis, probably Snap-on then, because the Snap-on truck's going to go to a semi, most shops more regularly.
Yeah.
Well, guys, it's been 2 hours. So
Sorry I was late, Al, Mitchell, everybody.
Well, it's all good. I understand that. Like it was like I was saying there earlier to Mitchell. We can't always plan for life. Life happens. I'm just glad for the opportunity that you guys gave me to come up here and have a chat about my channel and talk to you guys, get to know you a bit better, and continue on with this what we're doing here and building our community up a little bit more and bigger than what it is.
Yeah.
I really appreciate it, guys. I do.
We appreciate you coming up.
Yeah, I appreciate you coming up. So I had my toolbox custom painted too. I'm not
custom paint job on the toolbox, but not the car.
Well, so whenever I was into the hot rods, I did like a buddy of mine. He owns so he's been in like Hot Rod Magazine a whole bunch, like 63 times I think so far. And he does custom work. Well, he did he painted a big memorial deal on the back of my toolbox. It's pretty neat. But he also painted all my old cars for him. They were his practice cars. So like if he had a younger person and he was trying to see how developed their skills were, like he would call me like, "Hey Mitchell, what car do you have that I can play with for a little bit?" So I would send him a car and it'd come back. It would look really nice, but like you would see some flaws where they messed up and then they redid that. If you were looking for it and they were pointed out to you, you would see it, but not all the time. But I can't afford to do hot rod stuff anymore with
horses.
Kids. Well, yeah.
Kids.
Yeah.
That was my downfall of my drag racing days. Is I had kids. I'm like, but I need parts for my. No, we need kids. But I ordered parts from some. No.
Yeah.
But you need to sell the truck. Is what you do.
Well, so whenever my boy was 3 months old, my wife, she come up to me. I like the Fox Body Mustangs, not the only one, but that was the one I had at the particular time. She come up to me. She's like, "Babe, we need new furniture, and Landon needs a new crib and stuff for his room and stuff." And I just looked at her and I was like, "You want me to sell the car, don't you?" And she's like, "Yes." So that was the last one I had. I have a 76 Pontiac Ventura that I've been waiting to do.
I finally got rid of my last one. The last drag car, it was an S10. I put a 350 in it. It was not just a stock 350, but I ended up getting rid of it when just before Caleb showed up. He was still in the oven. Like, now shit, now I got to get rid of that thing. But I want to go back, and I still want to do a 72 Nova.
Good luck. They're expensive.
A friend of mine goes to all the swap meets and stuff. He's like, you tell me what you want, I'll tell you what show to go with me to. I'm like, okay. But then I sold the 454 and everything, and another guy, Mitchell knows I'm a Ford guy, and one of the guys I was talking to, he's like, you know, them's all Chevy parts except for the Ford 9-inch rear end I'm gonna put in it. And he's like, you would? I'm like, yes, I would, because I can't afford a '67 Mustang. I mean, I could up until that stupid movie came out with the, what was it?
But Gone in 60 Seconds.
Yeah. That was always my favorite car, and then that movie comes out, and now freaking Shell's $25,000. I'm like, seriously? How did we get here from where we are?
Barrett Jackson is how we got here.
Classic cars can be extremely expensive.
Hey, Ashley.
My brother-in-law knows a guy that does all classic cars here. He's got like 57 Chevys and stuff like that. It's a fortune put into it.
What's up, Jacob?
Hey, Jacob.
So,
Yeah,
yes.
my friend I was telling you about that owns the hot rod shop. His father-in-law has the Tri-5 set, 55, 56, 57 Chevrolets, all beautiful cars. He's got all three of them now. I'm like, why? They sit in your garage. Well, I'll get them out and drive them into town. I'm like, because he has the money to do it. So hey, can't take it with you. Might as well enjoy it where you got it, I guess.
Yeah, my brother-in-law, my sister and her husband, they're big into the car. Like my nephew has a Galaxy 500 with a 514 in it. My brother-in-law has a 72 Nova. Yeah, no, it might be I think it's 72 Nova with a 514, or not a 514, a 572 dart block in it. And then my buddy so his dad passed away and left my nephew the 55, 56 Chevy Bel Air, 2 doors. I mean, they have a Falcon, a Ford Falcon, a Ford Fairlane, 3 or 4 old Chevy pickups. I mean, and they're all completely redone, and they've done it all. I just don't have the time. I don't know where people. I guess I'm bad at managing my time. I don't know, but
my ex-sister-in-law, her dad left her a '63 Galaxy, the 500, which they got the freaking taillights in them this freaking big. They're ugly, but they're great for drag cars. He also left her a '67 Ford Fairlane factory 4-speed car, and it just sits in her garage. And she's like, I will never sell it. I will never do anything with it. I'm like, what? Just let it sit there and rot. Your dad would be so pissed if he seen what you're doing to that car. It just sits there and collects dust.
So I have 2 uncles. One of my uncles has a '69 Camaro, and the other uncle has a Dodge Charger. And you remember the movie Bullet? They're painted to match like the Bullet, like the black Charger and the green Mustang. But instead of a Mustang, it's a Camaro. He's like the Camaro. He didn't like the Mustang. So, but they have the Camaro has 3,200 miles on it, and the Charger has like 56,000 miles on it, and that's it. I mean, just mint you can't get close to these cars if you've got buttons, metal buttons on your pants or anything. Like and they're in their garages sideways on like the wheel dollies, they're turned sideways. Like they have ropes around them, like with signs like, you have a belt buckle on, don't even think about touching my car. Yeah. They're gorgeous. They're
away from the vehicle.
And they live right beside each other too.
My stepdad's got I think it's a 62 or 63. Maybe just 65 Impala. I don't remember. But he his dad bought him when he was in high school, and there's not a used bolt or nut on that car. He has stripped it completely down, but then he done all that and then put a freaking 502 crate motor in it. I'm like, what's the point? You called Jasper and said, hey, build me a motor or send me a 502 crate motor. Do it yourself. You done everything else.
Yeah.
And
You,
the freaking
you can get a lot of money. Like that Mustang that I sold, I had $25,000 wrapped up in that motor.
oh yeah,
I mean, that quick.
I know. Trust me.
Well, guys, I have said I was getting off of here like 5 times now. So for real this time, I have to get this truck up to Sapulpa, Tulsa area to get this transmission worked on. Hopefully, I can get it up there today. So I will talk to everybody later. I appreciate everybody that came in the chat. Really, really appreciate it. Al, I appreciate you coming up and hanging out with us, talking about your channel, and then just kind of shooting the breeze afterwards. And Josh, I will see you later. You guys have anything to say?
I just wanted to say thanks to everybody for coming into the chat room to check it out, and most of all, thank you guys for thinking of me to come up and do this little interview and hang out and have a bit of fun, because it was fun. It was a really good time, and I really appreciate it.
I'll go back and watch the replay so I can see how many people make fun of me for not being here when I was supposed to.
There wasn't anybody really.
There was actually nobody never made fun of you. I was in the original chat for a little while. Just
I'm sure that one.
We should be on in a few minutes. We should be on in a few minutes. And it was like then Mitchell left a message. It was like, I'm having it on my channel now. I was like, oh okay, everybody go there.
Yeah. Yeah. No one said anything. Scout's honor.
I don't believe you any further I can throw you, Mitchell.
I guess Phil did.
Yeah. Well, I had Tiffany texted me. She's like, "Are you okay? What's going on?" I'm like, "I'm at work. Why?" I'm like, she's like, "Are you not doing it live?" I'm like, "Did Mitchell not start it?" By the time I got yours, I'm like, "Crap."
It's all good though. It's all fun.
All right. Well, Josh, got anything?
Thanks for coming over.
All right. Well, we'll see you guys later.
See y'all.
See you guys.